Welcome back to Singing with Confidence. I am your host, Olavi. Thank you so much for being here today. And today I am going to share my singing origin story. How did I get into singing? What was it like at the beginning? How is it now? And I just wanted to go over that today so you'll get a little bit more of a history and understand my background. So the very first time I ever was singing was actually when I was like a baby. I was an infant, and my mom and my dad tell me I used to go brrr, brrr. They called it the burr song. So I would go burr, burr, brrr. Now we know that's actually a vocal warm up. That is called a lip trill. And I always think that that's really cool and funny that I did that as a baby. I think because a lot of times as singers, performers, people that want to sing, people that have been singing, I feel like it is something that we are born with. It is something that is innately inside of us. And so I sang a little bit as an adolescent, as somebody in high school, just kind of always felt like I had a good voice, but I never got lessons until I went to college. And I studied theater performance at Rollins College in Central Florida in Winter Park. And I felt unstoppable. I really felt like I had a really good voice, and I went to go do a mock audition. This was back in 2012, and I did a mock audition for my teachers, for my theater teachers. And we did a monologue, and then we did a bit of a song. I think we even danced. So I went in there doing a really big Broadway song. And this song, it's called Take Me For What I Am from Rent. Very big, very bold, very powerful. I think I practiced it a little bit. I don't think I did any vocal warm-ups. I really didn't know any of the skills. I just thought, I have a good voice. Like, I know I can sing the song. I'm going in there. I felt unstoppable. I felt like I was soaring. I was ready to take on this song and really prove myself, or really just show my talents. Like, I just felt really great. And I remember I finished the song, and it was quiet for a moment, but I remember feeling, just like the wind in my sails, and really just confident. And there was a teacher. She wasn't my direct teacher, but one of the teachers in the theater department. She said to me, if you keep singing like that, you're going to ruin your voice. And it was like a punch in the stomach. She didn't thinking back, it doesn't sound that mean, but she didn't say like, oh, you had really great moments. Like, I'm a pretty sensitive person. I think a lot of us are regarding our voice. It's very intimate. It's very vulnerable. It's just a very, sacred part of ourselves. So she said, if you keep singing like that, you're going to ruin your voice. You need voice lessons. Okay. So I walked out of there feeling really defeated. I felt like that they didn't really hear me, well, obviously they did. And they thought it wasn't that great. And that was just kind of hard to hear. And I want to back up a little bit before I go on, as well as a lot of us as singers or as children, really, in our adolescent or even in our adult life, like people will say something about our voice that tends to shrink us. It tends to make us feel less than, or our voice really isn't good enough. That is a very challenging and very difficult space to be in, because our voice is so unique to us. And especially as artists, we really need to be nurtured. Every artist needs to be nurtured, whether it's from your parents, your community, maybe a teacher, saw your talent and was like, yeah, you can do this. We all need somebody telling us and affirming us and encouraging us as artists, saying, you know what, you're doing great. Even if you're just a beginner, we need to hear those things. So I remember when I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, and I was at the dinner table with my family, my mom, my dad, my 3 sisters, and I think I was singing like opera. Like I was just like, "Woo!" Like I was just being really expressive, really loud, really crazy. And I remember my dad saying, "No singing at the dinner table." And I was like, oh my gosh. And it just really shut me up. Like it made me swallow my voice, swallow my words. And that was hard for me because that's my dad, and I don't think he meant it in a bad way, but I know that as kids or even as adults, we internalize a lot of what these people say to us. So be careful when you're out there and you hear somebody sing and it might not be that great. Just be very careful about what you say. Honestly, I'm always like, you did a great job. I don't think I'm lying to anybody because it takes guts. It does take a lot to go out there. If somebody's coming to me and they want to be coached, yeah, then we'll talk about your voice. But just when people are going out there and doing great, and being brave enough to get on stage, usually they're not going to be terrible, but either way. So I just wanted to bring that up, just to say that I have also gotten, reprimanded. I have gotten accused of not sounding great or not singing in the appropriate area or place, and that can be challenging. So just know that you're not the only one, and a lot of us, almost everybody, has really gone through that, especially people who have been singing as kids. So I just wanted to bring that up and remind you of that story that I'm sure that we can relate to. Maybe you didn't have the exact same thing happen or words say to you, but maybe something similar. So I'll fast forward again back to my mock audition. So I went to the audition, did the thing. They said, "Oh, if you keep singing like that, you're going to you need voice lessons." I was like, okay. So that was when I was a junior in college, and I started to get lessons by this wonderful woman who I think had a PhD in teach in the voice, vocal anatomy, or teaching the voice. And she was very technical, and we started learning jazz music, actually. I think one of the very first songs I learned was All the Things You Are, which is a jazz standard. And I remember going in there again, feeling like, yes, I've got a great voice. I can't wait to learn more and I guess be okay with that constructive criticism. But because my artist, my child, beautiful, innocent artist was never nurtured, I think that's part of the reason why when she gave me feedback, it felt very personal. When she would be like, "Oh, that sounds good. That doesn't sound good." And I would take that in and be great. But I felt like it was just very mechanical and very technical, and it felt kind of cold. There wasn't a lot of soul. She never said like, how does it feel when you make this noise? Or how does it feel when you are really loud or really quiet? Or how much water I should drink, how much sleep I should get. She never really complimented me. It was all about what was wrong with my voice and what we were going to fix about that. And that didn't work for me. I think I took maybe 6, 7, 8 lessons with her. I think I even had some more that I had already paid for. And I just didn't take them because I was like, this is like, I feel like I'm getting worse. Because every time I go there, I'm scared because we're just focusing on the bad. We're focusing on what's wrong. And it was really hard. It was very challenging. And I remember feeling like I never want to make anybody feel like this. This is terrible. My second vocal teacher was one of the best I've ever had. He was so cool. I can't remember how I met him, but I go in there and he we do like a couple warm-ups and he says, "Okay, do this, do that." And he was like, "Oh, you have perfect vibrato." And that was the first time somebody that was a professional really complimented me. And that made such a big difference. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been waiting for. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you so much. And so I already felt more connected with him because he was honoring me. He was supporting me. He was nurturing me. And he gave me this really cool list about what I should do every day. Drink at least 8 glasses of water, do these vocal warm-ups. He gave me some audio files that I could do vocal warm-ups on my own. And it was just such a stark difference between him and my very first teacher. And I stayed with him for a few years. and my voice grew so much. We had really good rapport. Like we would make jokes. He would suggest songs for me. My first teacher, she would, but I remember her saying one time, like, oh, I have this one student that comes with songs to work on every time, and he's just amazing. And I was like, you never told me to bring songs. Like, I was, like I said, I took it really personally because I already had some wounds. I already had some wounds of being seen, of being heard, of being kind of criticized, never being really nurtured. So I would always feel like I wasn't good enough. Like my voice just wasn't up to par. And I'm like, I'm out here trying to get lessons. I'm out here doing my best to like go and be better. And I'm just getting like thrown in the dirt. But thankfully, with that second teacher, it really started to change things for me. It really started to unlock my voice, unlock a part of myself where I felt confident. I felt powerful. I felt like, you know what? I am good at this. Maybe one day I'll be great. Or maybe today I am great. And we're just going to find more and uncover more excellency and more greatness. And I'm just so grateful for that teacher. So through all these years of really feeling not heard, of being lonely, of not understanding, like, okay, I have this big dream inside me. Got this big feeling within my heart and soul that I need to go and be on stage and sing and perform and be big and bold. And sometimes we go through these challenging times because we are actually awakening. It is like the beginning and the uncovering and the blooming of our soul. The ache was like the seed of my purpose. God wasn't punishing me. God was planting me. Sometimes we have to go into these dark places in order for us to sprout. Could I have been better early on, being nurtured and really being spoken, like life been spoken into me? Yeah, absolutely. That's part of the reason why I felt such a calling and such of this like vision to really do the things that I know worked for me. Like I need to start telling myself I'm an amazing singer. I'm so beautiful. I'm so much more than like the imperfections of my voice, because guess what? The perfection is not relatable. Nobody's going to see a perfect singer and totally relate to them. It's great to hear a little bit of that groggle. It's good to hear it's not always perfect, but is the emotion there? Is the feeling there? You know, music is emotion, and as we sing, we really paint on the canvas of the music, and what a blessing that is. And I never want to take that for granted. So I began to transform the way that I started to see my voice, because it was about last year that I got back into singing and getting a really great vocal coach out of Nashville, Tennessee. And he completely changed my voice. So the way that we increase our confidence is how we increase our competence or our skill level. So we started to develop my chest voice more. And that's one of my pillars of teaching now, because I got so much power from that. I now can sing these beautiful, luscious, very velvety, very thick and gorgeous songs that really have that vocal power, where it's a powerhouse. I'm coming in. I'm there. Like I don't want to sing in my head voice as much anymore, though sometimes I do. It's great to be strong in all of your vocal ranges, but actually being confident in my vocal in this chest voice and starting to write down and document like what I need. It's about being a holistically better person. I can't only focus on my voice and expect me to be a better singer. Yeah, sure, my voice is going to improve, but what about my faith? What about my relationships, my body, my soul, my mind? That's where like at the beginning, that's where it really wasn't. My mindset was not there. I didn't feel confident. I felt like I would literally go into these vocal lessons being like, I'm not ready for this. I don't think I can do this because I know we're just going to focus on what's wrong and nobody's going to compliment me and I'm going to do like, it was just a negative, scary. I was like literally in fight or flight all the time. Like I was like waiting for the shoe to drop, you know? And so through the years and then finding this amazing vocal coach that I'm still working with, but I really focused on a year of developing my chest voice and getting into these different genres and really feeling free again, really feeling like I'm honoring myself and like respecting my voice. And it's just so exciting because I found that your voice isn't something to fix. It's something to unleash. It's something to discover, not to dissect, but to say, wow, look at this, look at that. It's like if you're studying a flower, you look at the flower, no two flowers are the same. And they all, as you look at it more, you can discover more about it. So I just feel like it's so important to share our stories and to know where we come from and to realize nobody's perfect. And that's exciting. Nobody has the same two voices. Your unique voice is unique to you. And I just want you to know that no matter what you've been through, no matter what, if somebody has told you your voice isn't good enough, it's too quiet, it's too loud, it's too high, it's too soft, it's too nasally, it's too deep, that has nothing to do with you. Your voice is beautiful. Your voice is perfect the way that it is. Can you improve it? Absolutely. Can you train it and make it better? Absolutely. But no, you weren't made badly, it's just like anything. If you want to get better at something, you got to put in the work. Get a coach, start watching more videos on YouTube. Start just doing some very simple vocal warm-ups every day. Little slides. Go, 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 go. If you want to start to develop that chest voice, you can go, 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 go during the day or da, 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 da. Do that for a couple days a week. And I cannot tell you how quickly things will shift and how quickly things will change. Woo! Gosh, this felt so good to say. I really stand as an artist and as a teacher for justice. We need to reclaim our voices, call our power back, like literally bring our energy in from all those people, places, experiences that have made us feel less than. And as a full human being, somebody that's whole, somebody that has healed, somebody that is healing, know that you are on the right path to success, to getting a better voice. The more you listen to this podcast and do the lessons and listen to the affirmations that are on this channel, you are going to grow so exponentially, like more than you could ever imagine. I can't even tell you. I'm so excited that you're here with me. If you want me to go over anything in these lessons, in these podcasts, please let me know. And that is my singing origin story. I'm still on the journey. I'm still taking lessons. I will be a student of the voice for the rest of my life. And it's just like your body and your mind. Every day it's going to be different. Sometimes you wake up, you don't feel good. Sometimes you wake up, you feel great. Sometimes your body is feeling tired. Sometimes it's feeling energized. Sometimes your voice is powerful, brave, bold. Sometimes it might not function the way that you want it to. And it all depends on your environment, what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're listening to, how your relationships are. So just be gentle with yourself because your voice is a sacred instrument and it lives inside of you. And you are the only one with your voice. Nobody else has your voice. So remember how beautifully gifted you are and that I want to hear you. The world needs to hear your voice. The world needs to hear your story. The world needs to hear your beauty and that beautiful, beautiful singing voice that you have. So before we go today, I would like to just walk us through a very simple exercise. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. But if you are able to close your eyes, we're just going to close our eyes for a couple moments here. Take a deep belly breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Do that 2 more times, nice and slow. Beautiful. Now you can repeat after me out loud or say it in your mind. My voice matters. My voice matters. My voice is powerful. My voice is powerful. My voice is unrepeatable. My voice is unrepeatable. My voice is the sound of my soul. My voice is the sound of my soul. I am free to express it fully. I am free to express it fully. The more authentic I am, the better I get. The more authentic I am, the better I get. The only approval I need is that of my Creator, my higher power, and myself. The only approval I need is that of my Creator, my higher power, and myself. And just breathe in those affirmations. See how you're feeling now. Ooh, that feels good. If that story spoke to you and you related to it, and maybe you also have felt unseen, unheard in your voice, I created a 4-day challenge called Singing with Confidence, and it is going to start in a couple weeks. Check the link below. Singing with Confidence. It is a group coaching experience where we're going to come together on Zoom for those 4 days and really start to lock in and learn some of the things that I have been doing for years and some of the things I have developed in my own practice that have made my voice skyrocket, that have really gotten me confident and helped see my own beauty and the power of my unique gift. And that is what I want for you. I want you to see the power of your unique voice with absolute strength, absolute confidence, and really build your relationship with that. So if you loved what you heard today, please share this with somebody. Click the link below to join the challenge. Please subscribe, leave a comment, share this with somebody that you love. Know that the more that you put in, the better that you're going to get out of your beautiful voice. So I will see you next time, and have a beautiful week and take care.